You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Make yourself famous. A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks. I am your host, Kyle Gagliardi, and as always, I am joined by my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Cal?
Tuck, we're live right now.
We are.
Live on Twitter, at
Yep.
Pod on the Mark, so...
It's exhilarating.
Is it?
Yeah.
A little bit. Is this your first time doing... No, it's not your first time doing a live podcast.
I've had made a couple live appearances on other branches of the Overtime Sports Network, but never recorded a live podcast while recording a live video of the podcast.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we've done shows that have become podcasts, but we're showing the listener/viewer our podcast process. So it's a little different.
So we're popping your cherry, I guess we could say, right? Yeah. Now, you brought up the Overtime Sports Network. Why don't you tell the listeners and the people watching on Twitter right now at Pod on the Mark what the Overtime Sports Network is all about?
Well, first off, appreciate anybody joining us at this time, logging in early and checking us out. But the Overtime Sports Network is a combination, a gathering of bloggers, podcasts, and content creators covering multiple corners of the sports world, from football, basketball, NHL, soccer, wrestling, wiffle ball, sports entertainment.
Maybe esports.
I mean, why not?
Jimmy J. Hayworth's interested, and so is Ian.
Yeah. So
shout out to Ian, one of our loyal listeners.
We're always looking for different ways to expand and grow, and we have room on the bus right now for bloggers, especially content, graphic designers to help out with some graphics and stuff. But for those looking to get their feet wet, hit us up. They can send you a direct message at Too Sweet Kyle. They can shoot us a Twitter message on at Pod on the Mark. Shoot me something at JimTuck89. Check out the website at otsportsnetwork.com and check us out on Twitter at _OTSN.
OTSN, we've got next. That's a shout out to Mikey and the Degenerates right there. I think we shout them out almost every single podcast here.
You got to. Good guys.
Speaking of blogs on the Overtime Sports Network, did you happen to check out my most recent wrestling blog?
I had not. I was waiting for you to preview it tonight.
Well, you want to know what it's all about then?
I do.
Right. If you haven't checked it out, it is my Fave 5, and I might do this every single month. And when I say Fave 5, I'm giving a shout out to Booker T. That's what he would always say about his favorite 5 wrestlers. And I don't mean like my favorite wrestlers, because obviously that's going to be AJ Styles and, John Cena. But
the phenomenal one.
Yeah, they're not in my top 5 right now. This is the Fave 5 of the hottest wrestlers right now in the WWE and in AEW. Now, off the top of your head, you haven't read the blog. You think you can name 2 of my 5 that I have in my Fave 5 for the month of October?
Current?
Yes.
AEW, NXT, WWE wrestlers.
Like, they're hot on the mic. Their matches are to the 9.
Chris Jericho's in the top 5. That's
He's number 1. There's a spoiler.
Yeah. Chris Jericho's got to be in there. Another one that you're really liking, Kairi Sane's back.
That's not it. But
Tegan Knox.
Oh, damn. I feel like I snubbed Tegan Knox.
Bang. Team Kick.
Tegan, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I think I snubbed you, but no, I'll give you another one here.
Give me like a 5. Give me like a
Becky
teaser.
Lynch.
Okay.
Becky Lynch was
fair.
at 5. Just
fair.
Consistently good,
Yeah.
And just holding down the Raw women's division.
Of the 5, is there more WWE, NXT, or more AEW?
I think I have 2 from the main roster of WWE, that is.
Mm-hmm.
1 from NXT and 2 from AEW.
Ooh, I'm trying to think of the second.
And the one from AEW is a tag team. I think you'll be able to get this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
And you should too.
Yeah, exactly. So check it out, otsportsnetwork.com. And also, if you're listening to this at a later date and you might be listening on iTunes, if you haven't already, please leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the show. It would be greatly appreciated.
I get tired of going to all these Walmarts and Targets and giving myself 5-star reviews. It's a little bit much. We would appreciate if any of you guys can go on your devices so I don't have to take time out of my dates with my lady and go always to the fake cell phone. They're real phones.
Yeah.
You can get to the podcast app. Subscribe.
Do it at an Apple store. So if you're in downtown Chicago, search On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff, and just help us out. Let us grow together.
Speaking of one other helpful thing that you can do, if you scroll through our Twitter, we'll send out a tweet, but we're selling shirts. We got a little online stuff. We've got a little online store going. Tomorrow at midnight will be the first cutoff where we'll get the first wave printed. I will be picking them up, and Kyle and I will be distributing them. So it's going to ask you for some shipping information, but you're just going to put an address to hold it there.
Right.
I will pick it up, no shipping, and we'll figure it out if we have to get it out to you. Ian Garavaglia, Wiffle Baller.
Yes.
Mark, has just purchased an On the Mark shirt. Plans to wear it to a couple shows. You made a promise to some people.
Let me throw this out there for that promise. I did say if you go to a wrestling event, whether that be AEW or WWE, since that's what we talk about, that I would buy you a wrestling figure if you wore our podcast shirt. You can't do it more than once. I'm sorry.
Definitely wearing to the shows in a couple weeks. So
that's coming up super fast.
We have all of the tickets confirmed, so that's nice. It's nice to know.
And the hotel room's booked, right?
The hotel is booked. We will pay for that on the eve.
I was going to say, I think I still owe you for that, don't I?
Yeah, but we don't know how much you're going to owe depending on how many hot men we can fit in that room. But might not be a bad idea to do a live reaction.
I got a comment from one of the people watching right now on Twitter. It's Aaron Oros. You've probably heard his name before if you listen to the show. He said he would like a Jinder Mahal figure, please, and I know he's kidding.
You might get one of those at Home Goods. They might pay you to take it.
Yeah, they might give you money to actually take that figure off of their hands here. But let's say we talk some wrestling, because that's what we came here to do.
I agree.
What do you want to start with? We going to start with NXT?
I think let's start with NXT. NXT, AEW, the hot current Wednesday Night Wars, and then touch up on Raw and SmackDown on the backside.
Okay, so if you're watching this right now live on Twitter and you haven't watched NXT or AEW yet, this is where we're going to talk about it. So spoiler warning, this is where you will tune out. But for those listening at a later time, here we go. We're going to get right into things here. With the first matchup on NXT, we got right into wrestling, which what's wrong with that?
Cool, let's go.
All in for that, and NXT seems to do that all the time. We had Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. This is your classic story of two athletic powerhouses going at it.
And that's about all you need. It was a good match, a good opener. You had some star power. You had a little bit of conviction between the two with the story that's building now. And I'm starting to like this Rhea Ripley lady. A big Bianca Belair fan.
Yes.
I'm starting to hop on the Rhea Ripley train, too. That's one of those stories between the two of them. I'm almost going to be happy either way because the match is going to be bonkers.
Yeah.
Especially at a pay-per-view level.
Oh, absolutely. And they had a lot of cool spots in this one. It was back and forth, kind of like a test of strength at the beginning, too.
Yep.
Which I'm a sucker for that. That's like old school wrestling right there.
Yep.
So that's a good way to start off that match. We come back from commercial break. Things start to heat up a little bit, and then we get that cool cannonball spot on the floor that would end up leading to somewhat of an interference. She didn't get DQ'd for it, but Io Shirai made her presence known.
Yeah, and you had to figure that it was coming. And you should.
I honestly didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
In hindsight, I did. It was one of those things where, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, cool.
And I want to put this out there, too. I think I've tweeted before at 2SweetKyles, where you can follow me on Twitter, that I wasn't a big fan of Rhea Ripley. And I don't know why I tweeted that, because now that I'm starting to watch her as her character progresses, I'm going to take back that statement. I like what Rhea Ripley
That's
doing.
one of those tweets that comes back to get you. You know, you're running for president. Somebody,
no, I'm not.
Somebody does a deep dive. You already are the president, sir.
No.
Somebody does a deep dive back into your tweets, and they're like, how can we trust this man? He didn't like Rhea Ripley at one point. But at least you were honest in your fandom. So
yeah, that's me. They call me Mr. Honesty, that's for sure. But yeah, Io Shirai would end up attacking Rhea Ripley when the ref wasn't looking. And then, of course, Candice LeRae is going to come out because she's kind of still having that feud with Io Shirai, and that eventually would lead to the Riptide for the win for Rhea Ripley. And I'm sitting here thinking, they didn't say this was a number one contendership match, but it kind of felt like one.
Yeah. I don't. I'm interested to see are they going to keep the Candice LeRae Io Shirai thing separate? Or are they going to do some tag stuff? I mean, you probably will.
I'm sure there might be like a tag match
TV
on some
stuff, but we've got War Games coming up.
We do. How many weeks out are we? About 4 weeks. It is.
Yeah,
4 weeks.
I
to
mean,
War
this
Games?
time in a month, we'll be at one of the shows.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh geez, and then the AEW show after that. Wow, we're gonna have a blast. But
We're gonna be busy.
overall thoughts on that as an opener for NXT?
Fair. I was fine with it.
I thought it was probably the second best match of the night here on NXT. That is,
Yeah.
I mean, it served its purpose, and I think the right person won here. And it's pretty crazy to see though, because Bianca Belair was running roughshod through the roster. She was
Right.
undefeated for a long time. She seems to be on a little bit of a slide now. Do you think that should worry some people, or is this just the trials and tribulations of the WWE?
Well, after seeing the hair mechanics in WWE 2K20 for Bianca Belair, I mean, you had to predict a backslide a little bit because that is rough. But I think they're doing the old break her down a bit so she can come back stronger.
Bring
That's
her
my
back to
take.
reality,
Right.
kind of, is what, because they really booked her very strong there at the beginning. But
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley would get the win here. We'll move on then to Matt Riddle versus Cameron Grimes. I believe this is the fourth consecutive time Cameron Grimes has showed up on NXT TV since they debuted.
It's saying something about him. I'm not as attached to him as I've quickly become attached to some of the personalities on AEW. But I like to watch Matt Riddle too. So
Oh, yeah. Matt Riddle, I feel like just now is starting to hit his stride in NXT. But going back to Cameron Grimes, I think the reason I'm not really all in on him right now is because we haven't got any character development. And maybe that's
Right.
coming here with which we saw Tyler Bate after the match. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll dive deeper into his character. But we know he's a good wrestler. We know that because we had a good match here against Matt Riddle, which I think it went a little longer than I expected.
yeah, I expected it to be like a 3-4 minute quick one, but it was extended a little bit longer than that.
You know what move really stood out to me, too, in this one? The jackhammer from Matt Riddle.
Oh, yeah, bringing it back. I don't know. I was always a little not that one. No, I'm thinking of a power bomb. Like back in the day when the big boys were doing that to each other.
Right, yeah.
Goldberg and Kevin Nash. And,
I'm referencing the Goldberg jackhammer here because they have real-life beef. I don't know if you've ever dove into that whole thing. Wait, you haven't?
no.
Yeah.
Riddle and Goldberg?
Yeah, there was like a backstage thing. I think they actually put it on the WWE Network. I forgot what it was. It might have been that Goldberg WWE 24 or whatever it was.
Seen minutes of it. But
Yeah, backstage, and they've had Twitter beef. Matt Riddle called Goldberg his bro, and he's like, "You're not my bro."
Oh.
And Riddle's basically just making fun of his wrestling style and how he comes back. So him doing the jackhammer here was kind of a jab on him. But what were your overall thoughts on this match itself?
I was okay with it. It was just a fair kind of run-of-the-mill match. I wasn't let down by any point of it, but I also wasn't riding home. And I actually had my attention stole to AEW as I was watching both.
Oh, you had the dual screen action going on?
I think I've got it pretty much mastered now. I pooped on it the first week because I had 3 screens, but I intentionally did not watch the World Series while I was watching those 2 in an effort to mind my 2. I've got a good setup with the volume. It gets a little loud at some points, but I like my attention being pulled left and right between the 2 shows, especially since this is the best wrestling on
any day of the
on
week.
the media right now. Yeah, and that's without even talking about NWA Power, which is firm.
Have you got a chance to finally check out an episode of that?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think it's good. I'm not as in love with the older set and things like that, like some people are. But
I can see why people are, though.
Yeah.
Especially the older audience.
Yeah, and I think it fills a nice little niche where it's another hour of wrestling, but it's a different style, some other names, and I just purchased a pro wrestling crate this past month.
Ooh, okay.
$30, 2 T-shirts, a lucha mask, a little micro brawler figure, an autographed 8x10, and a DVD for $30.
That actually isn't that bad. I think you should do maybe some once the website's up and going, maybe an unboxing.
Yeah, I think that is the plan. So
Okay, we're on the same wavelength.
I wanted to get one and see if they're. I don't know anything about these people. I got a Marty Skrull T-shirt.
Scroll. Okay, yeah.
He's from Ring of Honor,
the
New
Villain
Japan.
Club, and all that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
A Demon Bunny shirt.
Don't know that one.
Nope. I got a Su Yung DVD, High Spots DVD from Su Yung. And when you Google all of them, they do have lineage and tenure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I got a Chainsaw Charlie pin. A Glacier. That was my 8x10 autograph. Glacier. Looked like a dude from Sub-Zero. He looked like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
okay.
So I think, my reaction to a lot of these is going to be like, I don't know what's going on with any of these people. I can't wait to Google them. But the shirts they're nice quality. The Lucha mask is dope. Like an actual tie-up Lucha mask. Not
You're
like
gonna have to wear that to an event.
I should have brought it over here for the live stream in the Lucha mask.
Oh
but,
boy, yeah. People would never know what your face looks like.
Right. Darn. I missed out the opportunity. But that was cool. So AEW has actually sparked an interest in me taking the risk to try to invest in other characters, and
You're
I think
exploring other options.
WWE's making it pretty easy to do that.
Yeah, and when we say WWE, we don't mean NXT because what
NXT's quality is.
It's like they're. I don't know. I really don't understand why we are now referring to NXT as like a separate thing of WWE because it's still under the WWE umbrella,
right.
But it's become its own thing and so much bigger and better than the main roster that it's just NXT. That's what we refer to it as. And, and when we say WWE, we're talking about the main roster.
The main roster,
so that's just showing you how far NXT has come. And that's why they're on TV nowadays. So
no doubt.
Another cool thing that happened on this episode was Breezango and Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Now we're talking.
Got to get that in
Now
there
we're talking.
because it's on the Tron and everything.
Yeah.
Versus the Forgotten Sons. I'll let you kind of give your thoughts on this as a whole. Breezango, Swerve. I know you're a big fan of Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah, he was the reason I checked into the match. But the Forgotten Sons are pulling me a little bit too. I don't, not too much experience. I thought it was a good match. Nice to see. I'm not too super familiar with Breezango either.
That's true, because when did you start watching wrestling again? Like a year ago, full
Like
time?
I got into it the month before 2 WrestleManias ago when they were in New Orleans.
Okay, so
that's when I started. That's when I started getting in. So I knew Breezango was the thing. They were still doing like the tickets.
Yeah, the main roster police patrol stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
so they were doing that, but they were not included. And then they went down to NXT, and when I wasn't super watching that, but I thought it was a good match. It was not an AEWE spot festy type that we're coming to know.
That's not what you're going to see here.
And I was okay with it. It was a fair match. Not too many criticisms on my part.
I have 3 thoughts from this match because I wasn't huge on it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was pay attention to other things, probably my phone, to be completely honest with you. And
right.
And that's kind of how I can tell if I'm really invested into something. Am I checking my Twitter feed while this is going on, or am I actually watching the wrestling? And
right.
I was popping in and out here, but 3 things for me are Breezango's entrances, how they just change every week. I think that's brilliant.
Kind of cool. Keeps you interested.
Yeah, and then like no one else is doing that, so that's something that's very intriguing. Isaiah Swerve Scott's a star.
Yep.
I don't even have to say he's becoming one. I think over the past few weeks, just the little exposure we're getting, a star. I mean, this guy is going to be amazing in NXT for sure. And unlike you, the Forgotten Sons, they still don't do it for me.
I'm okay with them. I'm not in love with them. Not trying to buy a T-shirt. But I do. I also, on the other end, feel like it's kind of like stock gimmicky.
That's the exact thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's very generic heel work from these guys.
Right. I don't think they do a poor job of it, though. So
no, I mean, and they're gonna get heat, and I think that's a mixture of them. It's kind of like the Baron Corbin situation, where a lot of people actually don't like them because they don't think they're good, but they also are getting heat because they're heels and they're doing their job right. So, I mean, all in all, it served its purpose on the card, but it's nothing I'm gonna remember. The only thing I'm remembering from this is Isaiah Swerve Scott. That's
the man.
Well, no, it's Becky Lynch.
The really good wrestler and NXT guy.
Yeah, that guy. That's what I'm talking about. But we're also not going to mention what happened between Angel Garza and Jack Gallagher. There's really nothing to note from that other than his pants came off again. I'm talking about Angel Garza.
I was looking forward to that, I guess. But the Jack Gallagher guy is all right.
Is this your first time seeing him?
Mm-hmm.
He actually, I believe, debuted on Raw when they were doing the whole cruiserweights on the main shows like Raw and
really?
SmackDown. And he was pretty entertaining. He'd come out with like an umbrella. It was like a Mary Poppins type proper gimmick or whatever.
The Irish, proper Irishman kind of thing.
Yeah, and this match, it was nothing special. It was short. So we're basically going to breeze by that real quick. And then another thing is that Team Kick, Tegan Knox, my girl, my new number one. I'm putting her at number one.
Oh, wow.
She's my new favorite out of all the female superstars on the main roster.
Congrats.
And yeah, congrats to her. That's high praise right there. Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai become the number one contenders for the women's tag team titles, which will be defended on NXT next week.
It was nice to see Tegan Knox. Not too familiar with her. The chemistry with Team Kick was pretty good. And then the Kabuki War. I don't know what's going on with the green stuff. Like, it's not necessary. I don't need the whole. I get it, but the Kabuki Warriors don't. They can't lose, right?
No, I don't think so. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's on NXT, so maybe Team Kick is going to win. No, I think this is just a way to showcase your tag team champions on NXT.
Yeah.
Because there's so much TV time that you're not utilizing them on Raw and SmackDown, so why not?
Well, and it's nice, too. I think that also lifts NXT up to more of an equal brand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it doesn't, with Finn Balor coming down, it doesn't feel like a demotion or anything like that. I think it feels like a power play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where you can be a middle card, superstar, as they like to call him for Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go down and be a powerhouse, especially after the way everything
transpired last evening, because that was hot. But they ended up Team Kick.
That was hot.
That was hot. When I mean hot in like wrestling terms, like that got a lot of reaction to it. I'm not calling Finn Balor hot, even though he is an attractive man. I'm not afraid to admit that. All right, he's got packs on packs.
Yeah, I'd take a few of those. Of the abs.
I think I got like 4, and then the 2 below.
Yeah,
they kind of hide.
Mine are there, but I just like to keep them warm.
Oh, see, that makes sense. It's the wintertime. Keep everything warm. I get it. But they beat Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir here, and I'm going to be honest with you. They're not good.
No.
There's nothing to them.
No, and Marina Shafir is just long and limmy.
No, that's the other one. That's Jessamine Duke.
Oh, sorry. Jessamine Duke is, again, still stands long, limmy, gangly.
Awkward.
Yeah, I like, and again, guy or girl, man or woman, I like mine a little more stout and compact. I like because she's big, but she's not strong.
I mean, we know she's a badass too, because they all were MMA fighters in the past. But Marina Shafir, I'm critiquing here at this point. When she does her entrances with the whole group, and Shayna Baszler's out there and like does the whole smack Shayna on the belt and kind of just like acts like she doesn't care, it's weird. Like, I don't know what she's trying to be on TV. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
Are you actually hyping?
Yeah.
Are you a background bodyguard enforcer type?
I don't get it. I don't get what Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir are providing for Shayna Baszler. And the whole their green excuse is over with, because they've been on TV now for almost a year. Yeah. They've had a couple matches. None of them have been noteworthy. So it's getting to the point where we knew they were trying to build eventually to this horsewoman versus horsewoman match.
Yeah.
Like, can Duke and Shafir hang with Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks and all them?
Right.
No. And I don't want to see that. Like,
nope.
Get that out of my face. Sorry, Jessamine Duke, Marina Shafir.
Get the funk out of my face. Get the funk out of my face.
You were worried I didn't know where you're going with that.
I was not worried.
Oh,
I was very
I
confident.
was picking up on those vibes. That's
I thought you were going to be stunned because you thought I was going to say the F word.
Ooh, yeah, that would be actually more surprising. For those of you that are watching right now or listening, Tuck rarely curses, even though we're allowed to say shit, cock, balls on this. Sorry for everybody that just ruined your earbuds right there. If you're listening with your family, I'm sorry to those young kids that are with you right now. But what we're going to finish off here in NXT was the triple threat North American title match between Keith Lee, Roderick Strong, and Dominik Dijakovic. Great storytelling in this one, and I think the pacing was absolutely phenomenal.
It was an awesome match. Triple threats are easy to screw up, but they're also easy to keep the momentum and energy going. In a one-on-one singles match, sometimes the pacing, when two people are down and you're waiting 20, 25 seconds for them to get their energy back, it can feel like a plug and chug. But I think NXT does multi-person matches really well. They keep the spots going. Keith Lee doing a flip over the third rope, top rope was wild.
And this is going back to last week, and if you didn't listen, you should have. When I actually pop by myself watching wrestling, I know it's good.
Yeah.
I popped like 3 times during this match.
I just made a noise when that happened. It was like, oh, like no, like one of those things.
When you see a 300-plus pound man doing that, doing what cruiserweights do, and Dominik Dijakovic did it too.
And he is not small in
Lengthier.
any stretch of the word. He's more about limb management. But Keith Lee, Cannonball, big boy. Oh,
Hey, what's going on? Is Rich Homie Quinny
we got Rich
joining
Homie Quinny joining
Quinny's in the
pod.
chat right now.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, though, in this match itself, the triple threat match, a lot of good spots. I mean, there were just so many good spots. In classic heel wrestling from Roderick Strong, right when the match started, he ran out of the ring.
Yep.
That's what heels do. The cowardly heels are going to stay away from everything. And he wasn't a part of a lot of this action in this match. Most of this stuff, most of the hard-hitting action was between Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic, which they've been telling this story for months. And I'm not getting tired of it.
I'm not upset about it either. And it's, with the Roderick Strong angle, it feels, you can almost sense the Undisputed Era in the back coaching him up.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Let those guys get after it. And say what you want about the finish. It was a great match. It was a great match, no doubt.
How about that corner suplex spot where Keith Lee had Dijakovic and Roderick was on top? He was literally, I know, they were about to collapse, but Keith Lee held them together and still made it look awesome.
Yeah, and, I don't know that if in, their practice of it, his intent was to fall back through the ropes.
It probably wasn't.
It made it more real, though.
True.
I pulled it off, and I had to deal with it and dealt with it, and he hung in there. He hung on. And really, when they pulled a tight shot of the camera on his face as he's sitting between the ropes, and he stayed there. And you can tell that these guys are getting more familiar with camera presence, especially during a live taping.
Live, yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It was good. And that was strong.
It wasn't good, Doug. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was, from the NXT AEW 4 weeks that we've had, I'd put in the top 3.
I'd say this is the best match we've seen on weekly episodic NXT or AEW TV so far.
You'd say it was the best.
I say it takes the cake because, like I said, when you get me in multiple spots reacting to it, when I'm sitting here by my lonesome single self on the couch, you got me sold. And Strong would end up retaining thanks to Lee's powerbomb to Dijakovic, which then he would hit the running knee on Lee after that. Once again, right there, that's just typical heel stuff, doing what it takes to win.
I knew it.
That's just how it goes in triple threats, Tuck.
I hate it.
It worked. He retains. Undisputed Era, of course, has got to come out afterwards and celebrate, right?
Gold. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of another match that would come close, and nothing is jumping off the top. And again, this one's the most recent, but I'm trying to think, really.
I'd say any of the Lucha Bros matches have to be in contention because every time they get out there on a Wednesday, I'm like, it's the match of the night. But honestly, right now, and it might be the recency bias thing, maybe I'd have to really dive into it.
The Darby Allin Jericho one was good.
Wasn't this good?
No,
I'm
not saying it was.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was. That one was good. Yeah, that's a lot of wows.
And the wows didn't stop with the wrestling itself.
No.
Afterwards, like I said, Undisputed Era comes out.
Again, AEW for me is off at this point. And has been off for 6-7 minutes.
Because we're at the 8 minutes of extra time that NXT provides. And Ciampa would come out because, of course, he's in the title picture again. He wants to get Goldie back.
Come on.
Then his buddy from DIY, Johnny Gargano, comes out. And then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, Finn Balor said he was going to show up. Where is he?
Right.
Well, that was pretty good.
That was a nice tight cut.
Yeah, thank you. So I see Finn Balor come out. I see Johnny, and I see Ciampa. I'm like, I'm waiting for the Dream to come out because
Velveteen Dream. Yeah, that was the call for me. And again, I don't think it was any stretch of the imagination, but to have Finn, Tommaso, Gargano, Velveteen, super strong team going up against the Undisputed Era in the War Games matchup,
which you alluded to weeks ago,
right? And we were having a tweet/text fest between the two of us.
We were.
We couldn't keep up.
There was a lot going on in the last 15 to 20 minutes of NXT, and when I saw them 4 and them 3 have a stare down, I'm like, all right, here we go. Dream's not coming out. Balor and Gargano take a step up. Things are about to go down. Pele kick to Gargano from Finn Balor. Balor turns heel after the match on NXT.
And
what's going on in your head? We saw the picture on Twitter.
An audible inhale,
Yeah.
And man, and I'm a big Finn guy, Finn Balor guy. I've been, and I'm not super demon guy. I've only seen him. The demon's been out twice, I think, since my fandom.
Yes,
started.
I think that's about right.
And what? Because he did not go to the Undisputed Era.
See, that's what I thought was happening.
Right.
Because I saw afterwards, and great job by the Undisputed Era on selling this, too. Because they stood there shocked. They kind of paused for a second. Cole and Balor make eye contact, and then the Undisputed Era just goes down to beating down Ciampa while Finn takes care of Gargano.
Yeah. And then they come back, and Undisputed Era holds their pose. Finn gets nasty on the ramp, does the guns.
Bullet Club. That's the reference. He used to do that in Bullet Club as Prince Devitt.
Is it coming back?
See, that's what I was going to ask you next. Is this Finn moving towards the Undisputed Era? Is this Finn just starting something with Johnny Gargano? Or is Finn hinting towards joining the club, the OC, and maybe just this going to NXT was a ploy to bring out the inner bad guy in him? That's what I'm thinking in my head right now, too.
Yeah, I mean, because he's in a weird spot now because he's going to be a heel. He didn't jump to the Undisputed Era right away.
No.
Is there going to be a big spot and a big match over the next couple of weeks where he comes and saves the day? I don't know.
And that's a perfect cliffhanger, too. That's how you end the show.
Now NXT has options. They haven't booked themselves into a corner the way that we've seen Raw, WWE, SmackDown
Hey, Raw or
do.
SmackDown would never book a superstar into a corner.
No.
Never.
No. They would throw him down a 10-foot hole and
have him DQ'd in the Hell in the Cell match because that makes a lot of sense. But, I mean, just the last 30 minutes of NXT, that's professional wrestling. That's what I love to see, and that's what keeps me coming back from War Talk.
No doubt. That's the show you look forward to. If I run home late to Raw right now, or I got something to do with SmackDown going on, okay. All right. I'll get to it. I'm not going to miss it wholeheartedly, but I can get back to it. I can circle back. I've got a DVR.
But after that, I'm tuning in to NXT next week.
I can't miss the Twitter. I can't miss the Twitter while these shows are going on. So it's must see.
Was this your first kind of big heel turn that you've seen? I know you've seen
Bayley.
some. Oh, Bailey's kind of big. I think Finn's bigger, though.
1,000 times. Yeah, mine was tongue-in-cheek.
I mean, both were kind of unexpected, but it's Finn Balor.
Finn's got an edge where you could see him being a baddie.
Oh, yeah.
Bayley, I think there's still some convincing to actually be behind her as a heel. She's saying heelish stuff. She's doing heelish things. I'm still not sold 100% on her. Finn Balor, baby.
But yeah, Finn Balor, that's how you end a show right there.
Come on now.
And then that's all I would end up watching on Wednesday night, because usually I would go to the replay of AEW, but for some reason they didn't have a replay this week. So I had to pull up the TV guide. I found they had a replay at midnight, recorded that, and I watched it literally 4 hours before we recorded here today. So that's the one that's freshest on my mind. Why don't you introduce the opening match? Because we got right into wrestling in AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, and I think there is this emphasis or this important place between both brands on we trying to get the jump. And chronologically, between the two last night, AEW did get the jump because of NXT and their spot and their video packages. So it was Private Party.
Yes.
Squaring off against the Lucha Bros. And AEW Spot Fest 101, typical, good, hard-hitting match. Some criticize AEW for giving too much away on TV.
And what do you mean like that? Too much
spots,
good wrestling?
Too many good matches. They lay it on thick with the wrestling. Too many good spots. Some people are saying, I'm not going to pay $50 for full gear when I'm getting this for free.
I mean, I didn't think about that criticism until now, and I get it, but I also see from AEW Dynamite standpoint, they're brand new. They've never been on TV before. Why not showcase what they are all about?
I would do the same. No, not nowhere nearly as well, but I would do the same thing. We need to capture the wrestling, which is not as strong on the other brands right now, even though it could be. And now this week was the first. Not that it wasn't the first time, but
No.
they capitalized on their out of ring camera work and production, and there were
More storyline progression outside the ring.
they overshadowed fair to really good wrestling with a solid promo and a solid piece in the middle there. The Private Party Lucha Brothers match, it was good. I still don't know what they say with Lucha Bros though.
I'm probably going to butcher this. And once again, we are brand new to this whole scene. I think it's like Cero, Viero, or something like
that's
that.
it. Yeah,
It's
Viero.
something. I
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
butchered that. Actually, I know I butchered that.
It sounds the sounds you're making sound a lot like what I hear on the TV.
And that's kind of what I'm going by. And if I'm in the crowd when we go to AEW Dynamite in Chicago, I'm probably going to do it too, because I'm going to put it out there right now. And I said it in my blog on the Overtime Sports Network. So, spoiler, this is my favorite tag team. This is my number one tag team right now.
Lucha
the
Bros?
Brothers. Another great match. Perfect way to kick off AEW Dynamite. Even though the Private Party lost here, I still feel like they looked extremely strong, and they were able to get a lot of their offense in.
They're going to have the juice. AEW has
gin
a
and
plan for
juice.
them. Well, hey, oh yeah, that is them. Yeah, the gin and juice. They're going to get their juice after this tag tourney rolls up. I'm not sure that rolling out of the gate with both of the semifinal tag matches was the strongest booking. I might have put the
Fair.
second strong tag match towards the end after the Jericho Inner Circle promo. But again, I'm complaining about a lot of good wrestling in a row. And
You're really not
having-
complaining. You're just critiquing.
No,
'cause
that
we
yeah,
enjoyed
right.
it.
Yeah, and AEW is good.
Oh, it's
good.
they. I'm going to say right now, and this is kind of a spoiler, they haven't had a bad show.
Nope.
There's not one show yet. Even I'm talking about like their pay-per-views that they ran All Out and Fighter Fest and all that. Never have not been entertained by a show that they produce. So
I think the wrestlers are not jaded. I think they're inspired.
more freedom.
I think they have more freedom, and they're willing to take chances on because they don't have the stake, the public stake or the stock that
They also don't have the
WWE does.
74-year-old old man in the back room criticizing their every move.
And then they just replaced SmackDown's Eric Bischoff, an old white guy, with another old white guy. And again, we'll see how it goes.
Sure, yeah.
But you have young, you have different, you have a lot of opinions at AEW, and it's led to 4 really good shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And a cool spot I liked here in this Lucha Brothers Private Party match was when the Lucha Brothers were going for their package pile driver, and then Quen would come in and hit Hurricane Ranas on both the guys to kind of escape this match from being over. I thought that was a really innovative way to showcase the Private Party. But overall, very great match. Lucha Brothers advanced to the finals versus the winner of SCU in the Dark Order,
Yes.
which was the next match,
Yes.
which you were referring to earlier. Kind of weird to put back-to-back semifinal tag matches.
Yes.
Is that it? Are you Daniel Bryan?
I don't like the Dark Order.
Yes, I thought we were getting a chant going. I thought it was starting to build. No, I get it, and I don't think this match was bad by any means.
No.
Wasn't bad,
No.
but for AEW standards, this was average.
And AEW, I think, can get away with gimmicks and a lot. Like, they had
The weirder
Joey Ryan at All In, like, running around with people in, ding-dong costumes.
That's right.
And, people were like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Right. But the Minion gimmicky, and again,
weird.
it's different. It's fine. It's weird.
Sometimes
It's
weird's
not
good, though.
dark enough, though.
That's fair.
Bring them out on chains. Get weird. If you're going to
Chokers.
get weird, right?
Yeah, just go all in on
Yeah.
the Dark Order. But
Yeah, right now it's the the medium light order for me. They're not dark. If you're gonna get nasty, get nasty.
I am now referring to the Dark Order as the Medium Dark Order.
The halftone, yes.
And I think it's fair to say that we are both not fans of the Dark Order. But I'm glad they didn't win, and wasn't a bad match, like I said earlier. But I think once again, the star in this match was Scorpio Sky.
As always, 4
Man.
weeks going into All Out 2. Dude can wrestle. AEW sees a stock in him, and I believe in it as well. He's becoming the face of SCU, no doubt.
Do you think he's a future AEW world champion?
That's tough for me to call right now. I wouldn't go there.
I'll say he is.
It would be 2-3 years, I think. And I'm not that long-term sighted right now with this product, but dude can wrestle.
Yeah, and he's got charisma. He's got it all. He's an athlete. But another thing that happened during this match is the Inner Circle would show up. Chris Jericho, Santana Ortiz, and Sammy Guevara. Of course, Jake Hager wasn't there because he has a Bellator fight this weekend that he's preparing for.
You tuning in for that?
No, I'm not. But
that's a no from me too, dog.
Yeah, I did tune into the Jake Hager interview on Busted Open Radio. They have it on podcast form too. Very good interview. It was basically Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger, was saying that he does Bellator because he likes to fight, but he also knows it's going to help him in his pro wrestling career. It's going to give him more exposure.
Good observation, sure.
And it's a different kind of, entertainment and performance. But
Is that Vogus?
It's Vogus joining the chat. I didn't know you had yours open now,
mine's
too.
open,
Yeah, look at you open. Yeah, we are live on Twitter once again, if you did not know. But the winner of this match, NXT, was bonkers, as Vogus says right now live in the chat. Yeah, we just actually finished talking about that, Vogus.
Perfect timing, sir.
Yeah, you'll hear that tomorrow. We're going to pick our winner. And right now we're talking about AEW. So if you haven't watched it yet.
You've been warned.
Yes, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. SCU would advance. I gave him a warning.
You did.
I gave him a warning, so he can't get mad at me this time.
See you,
That's hilarious. But yeah, SCU would advance here to the tag team finals against the Lucha Bros. That match will be happening next week, and I'm looking forward to it, Tuck.
It's gonna be interesting because SCU now they've established themselves as firm, very solid tag team. I'm looking forward to seeing Scorpio Sky match up against the Lucha Brothers.
Oh, man. The spots they're going to be able to do.
Come on
Pentagon and Rey Fenix.
Come on now. They better have plenty of TV time remaining, I'll tell you
This
that.
has to be your main event. It's for the AEW tag team titles, your first ever champion.
Yeah, and the one thing I regret, there was a hot tag while the Inner Circle was coming up.
Right.
What if they would have done that entrance during the picture-in-picture?
I don't think they have those capabilities yet, maybe.
No,
have they done
picture-in-picture?
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. No, I never even thought.
Keeps the eyes on the spots, but interesting to see them, Jericho and the Inner Circle make themselves known.
And they're just your classic bad guys. And they're fun bad guys. It's fun to like the Inner Circle for sure, but then...
here's these guys again, these stinkers.
Yeah, and and it's not a bad thing either by any means, because I enjoy them when they're on TV for sure. And all the group members in there are growing on me a little bit. But then we would have a matchup. This would be the first time, I believe, that Joey Janela would have a match on the live version of Dynamite. I believe he's been on AEW Dark. He had a match with Jon Moxley.
An unsanctioned match.
Yeah,
he took some good spots.
He's kind of been known as like this hardcore wrestler, I kind of feel like.
That was his niche. The bad boy.
You know more about... You're a Joey Janela fan,
I am. I like him. And the nice thing about this match with Kenny was that they gave him an opportunity to actually wrestle, and they brought nothing else into it. They weren't using any weapons, objects, anything like that. And it was a good opportunity for Joey Janela to showcase himself as a wrestler and not as a hardcore guy.
Yeah, and I know little to nothing about Joey Janela. I'll be completely honest with you. The one word I would describe him as is electric.
Yeah.
I feel like watching him, I can't keep my eyes off him. And that's a very good thing in professional wrestling because there's something there. Mm-hmm. It's just, when is it going to spark? And I think this was a very solid match, and you're going to see that especially with a guy like Kenny Omega, who's one of the best in the business. We talked about it last week. I mean, just everything he does, from the entrance to hyping himself up, it just feels real to him. And that V-trigger finisher that he has and the way he delivered it here in this match to end it, ooh, that was deadly.
No doubt.
Man.
I think he did it in a chair on Dark, though.
Did he really?
He did do a chair.
Oh, I didn't see that spot. See now. I got to see that.
Yeah, I think it was the one. Is the V-trigger and the One Wing Angel the same thing?
The V-trigger leads to the Angel's Wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
he did the One Wing Angel into the chair.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was referring to. But there's that whole sequence that leads to that. So fast, so clean, so deadly. Omega gets a win here. He's starting to finally get his momentum.
Yeah, here we go. He's starting to build a little bit of a resume. AEW did put some shine on AEW Dark, which I have not yet to watch.
I feel like we
we
need
staying
to.
After.
Oh, is that when they record it?
Yeah, it's after the live
Oh,
show.
it is Black Wednesday. Otherwise, I would say
that'll be our 30th hour of wrestling in 6 days.
Bro, I got to get my drink on. We got to get home.
You could buy like $14 margaritas at the Sears Center.
I probably will. But we're going to have to get back to the Crown Point bars. I'm just saying.
I know. It's
I'm just
nice.
saying. We're not going out with them and Griffith. Yeah. Sorry, Vogus. And
I might have to shack up here for that evening.
Yeah, that's fine. I think there's a couple other people actually shacking up here. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing the night before Thanksgiving. Going to AEW Dynamite and celebrating Blackout Wednesday.
Bang.
That's how we celebrate our Wednesdays. But next up here at AEW, we finally got to see more of a talking segment. There really wasn't that much talking.
Right.
It was an in-ring interview with Tony Schiavone and Cody. In the inner circle, of course, they had the kazoos. Is that what you call it? It's not kazoos, but like noisemakers.
Yeah, the air horns, noisemakers.
Being an obnoxious heels, kind of being like, those teenage boys that just want to get involved. And
the punks, man.
The punks.
Just
was
a bunch
good
of punks.
Very good way of putting it. But what were your thoughts on this whole segment here?
Cody looked like a star. And he looked like a gentleman that had the company at his back that they weren't going to tolerate, and you could tell early on, it's 4-on-1. What are you going to do there, bud? And then the second one to come out was
Dustin Rhodes, formerly known as Goldust. Of course, your brother's going to have to show up to help you out, right?
Yep.
And then who showed up after that, Tucky?
MJF, who received a stone cold like pop.
It was a mega babyface pop.
Yes.
For a guy that you're supposed to hate, everybody loves him because he's helping out the man, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. And then I think, maybe
this one didn't connect with me.
Both of the Young Bucks, maybe. One of the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega could come out. Maybe someone else that's face-ish could pop in.
This is where they lost me. I love DDP. He's a legend. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Famer.
But he's 63 years old. I
got some miles on the toes.
When you see Dustin Rhodes, who I don't know his exact age, but he's not young. And DDP coming at a young Sammy Guevara, Santana and Ortiz, and it's hard for me to get the believable aspect there. You know what I'm saying? But overall, they would end up going up there to the press box because that's where the inner circle is hanging out. They go and lock the press box.
Yeah.
You think that's it, but no, he asked for MJF's scarf, and he punches right through the door. And I just burped mid-talking.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
Right,
actually.
yeah. Kept it rolling. And, it's refreshing to see that they're not holding back in these arenas and these venues, and they're granted the same freedom as you would see in a WWE. Like, somebody's got to pay for that door. Who's going to replace that bucket of Dippin' Dots,
Oh, now I want Dippin' Dots. Now I'm really thinking about it. We're going to get Dippin' Dots when we go to one of those wrestling events, that's for sure.
$9 for a little cup of Dippin'
for that
Dots
much Dippin' Dots for those
You're paying like 14 cents a dot. Yeah.
It's totally worth it.
Worth it.
Watching wrestling, eating Dippin' Dots. But no, and what I'm thinking of when I'm watching this segment right here is we go back in WWE history when Shawn Michaels threw Jannetty through the barbershop window, the glass shattering and everything. Mm-hmm. I think that was Marty Jannetty that did that. If I'm wrong, I'm an idiot. Crucify me. I didn't start watching till I was,
2011?
17 years old? Yeah, I was 17 when I started. I'm 26 right now. But nonetheless, I think they're trying to create a historic moment right here.
And it was definitely the moment of the night.
I would agree.
For AEW. It was a good spot. It seemed a little chaotic as it broke out, but again,
that's how brawls are.
It's going to. Jericho getting
he's
kitschy.
So good.
I've got a ticket. We got a ticket. Just
he's such a fucking asshole, but it's so good.
And he does this. He's really good at being very strong when he's got his posse, and he can break down and get petty real quick. And it's just something about him where you're like, you look at him and you don't like him, but you like him. You always respect him.
If anybody doesn't respect Chris Jericho, Stop listening to this podcast. Stop watching us live right now on Twitter at Pod on the Mark.
That's it.
You're dead to me. But overall, I agree with you. Segment / match, whatever you want to call it, of the night here.
Yeah, and while I watched, again, my fandom kind of ran out in the early 2000s. Jericho was there. He was kicking it. I wasn't a huge Jericho guy. I'm actually much more of a Jericho guy now in AEW, seeing his strength and his importance in AEW and how much shine he has. Not that he didn't have that when I was watching him, but this character, this person, this leader, I'm in.
Yeah, and he uses his own theme song, like it's an actual song. He sings that song. What badass gets to come out to their own song? Let me call in. Judas. If you don't know the song, check it out by Fozzy. The Judas in!
Judas in my mind.
And that was Sing Along with Pod on the Mark.
Yep.
We're going to move on here to the Best Friends versus the Young Bucks, and Orange Cassidy was there. What do you think of Orange Cassidy?
I don't know that you could get more indifferent than me. I don't hate him. I
agree.
But it's like I think Shivani and JR are like, what is this guy?
All right, I'm about to do this since we're live on Twitter right now, and this is terrible podcasting because you won't be able to hear it. But
right.
I'm going to show you exactly what Orange Cassidy. I was about to call him Colin Cassidy. That's what Big Cass's name used to be.
Oh, okay.
Orange Cassidy's kicks look like.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Like
it's
that
nonchalant.
stuff was kind of funny. Like I don't care so much, or I'm okay with it.
It's a different shtick. It's a gimmick you won't see, but
yeah.
Once again, I think me and you both need to see more of it before we. And he had a cool spot during this match, where he just puts his hands in his pockets and he dives off the top of the rope into the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
that was cool, but I don't know if it was because this match really didn't have anything attached to it, like significance. There wasn't like a tournament involved here, or it wasn't for a number one contender. Yeah, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. And is it because of the Best Friends? I don't know why I'm not connecting with the Best Friends.
It was my least favorite of the Young Bucks matches that I've
and they were
seen.
Still great,
and they are, and they're tight, and you know what you're going to get. But I would also, that was going to be my comment too, that I don't know that I'm going to make a spot for myself on the Best Friend bus.
No, and I feel like I can say this now because I'm at that point now where I've probably seen about 15 or 16 Young Bucks match. If you've seen one Young Buck match, this is kind of the offense you're going to see here against the Best Friends.
Yep.
Nothing too special, but very good. And they did their part in this match. They would end up hitting a couple moonsaults at the end, which was a very cool way to end the match. I will say that. That was awesome, but overall, I could have done without it.
Yeah, indifferent to it as well.
So then we would go to Dr. Britt Baker. If you didn't know, Britt Baker's a dentist.
She is.
And they make sure you know that.
It took her 6 years, Kyle.
Took her 6 years, yeah. And, I would like her to be my dentist.
I would be afraid.
All right, I'm sorry, Adam Cole. Jeez, I'm going to get
I would be afraid to have her be my dentist. Like, so judgy with my,
like JR said, she can break your teeth, but she can fix them right
That's
after.
true.
So
that is true.
You got a caveat there for sure. But I think this match was just there against Jamie Hayter to have her wrestle in her hometown, which is cool for the people in Pittsburgh, Britsburg.
They pulled out the stops. The Steeler guy, was it Steeler?
What's his name?
Steely? I don't know.
Not a
but
Steeler
he was there.
fan.
He popped in, so there's that.
Yeah, you get the cheap hometown rub from the fans here.
Custom jacket that she'll keep forever, and
very cool. And Britt
With the
Baker's
teeth.
awesome. We both like her, but
I do.
She gets the win here. Once again, kind of just felt like a showcase match.
Yep, and they didn't screw it up by having her lose in her hometown and trying to turn that on them.
Yeah.
They have the power and the leverage to do that. They put her out there. She's a star. Your hometown. Go get it, Britt. Have a good one.
And you can tell, too, she's getting more TV time than Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Rio's your AEW Women's Champion. Nyla Rose hasn't been seen since that title match.
I know it.
Who's the number one female on this roster?
It's Britt Baker.
It's Dr. Britt Baker.
So it's DMD, my bad.
Oh, yeah. We got to get that at the end there, too. One day she will be AEW Women's Champion, and it might be soon. Who knows? But the main event here was Pac versus Jon Moxley. Pac would attack Moxley in the middle of his entrance because, that's what bastards do. He's the bastard Pac.
Yeah.
Good match. The 450 spot from the ring apron onto the floor. I thought that was very cool. But we end in a draw due to the time limit, which is AEW's own thing. They have a time limit for every single match here. Seems like the smart booking decision. I just don't know if I fell in love with the decision.
My instant reaction was pissed, mad. Here we go again.
Like the fans.
Hell in a Cell. I can't believe.
Not that bad.
But as I came to terms with it, if they're going to place importance on time limits, if they're going to make them the time limit and those types of things matter.
In records.
I'd rather have them do it on TV than on pay-per-view. Both wrestlers looked strong. You have a building block. So again, if TV's there to tell stories and build to bonkers, off-the-wall pay-per-views.
This did it.
You got a good wrestling match that didn't super end the way you wanted to. I'd rather have it. If I'm going to pay $50 for that, hooey, I'm not going to be happy. But I get it. I've come to terms with it.
Yeah, and it makes sense from a booking standpoint. And right now, Pac and Jon Moxley, they're some of the AEW's biggest stars.
Yep.
And which one of these guys would you have rather seen losing here? I feel like the only way you can go is this time limit thing. Like, if you give Pac a loss here, well, I mean, we know him as this really good heel, but if he's losing, why do I care about him?
And do we count that as the 2-0-1 being
I would say so,
I mean,
yeah.
It's got to be on the record. It's an asterisk.
It's like a tie in football. It's going to be in the third column there. But overall, very solid main event. And I don't want this to make it seem like we are shitting on AEW because we're not. This was a very good show. If I was giving it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I was around 8, yeah.
Yeah, and that's very good, especially for a company that is having their 4th show on live TV.
Good wrestling, good production value, which was the thing that I was most nervous about. Are they going to be able to cut it? They are getting good at that, yeah. And they do a good job. It's very predictable, very firm. You know what you're going to get. Good wrestling. I would like a little bit more story, but they're working on it.
We're getting there, yeah.
They are at the top. They're doing the heel face faction very well, and every week when I watch AEW, I'm going to get a good show.
Yeah, and that's a great way of putting it. Because if you tune into Raw or SmackDown, you're not going to get a good show every week.
Yeah, your barometer. You're looking at the whole show as like a Lacey Evans type, where if you get
don't bring Lacey into this.
If you get a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10 with Raw, you're like, that was pretty good.
That's actually true.
And we're giving AEW like an 7.5, 8-ish.
7.5 at the lowest. I mean, it was
a good show.
That's good for a weekly show where we're still 2 weeks away from Full Gear, which I don't think either of us will be watching live. So, do you plan on?
I might be though.
You might?
I might.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Mista said you had something going on that weekend.
When is that?
November 9th, I think.
I have something going on that weekend.
I was going to say, I think I talked to your wife about that.
Thank you there.
I was going to ask you to watch it with me, but yeah, I think she gave me the forewarning there. So,
is she taking me to Full Gear?
No, she's not taking you to Full Gear.
Do you know what
Don't
she's
get
doing?
Your home. I have no idea what is going on.
She said 8. I can't do anything at the 8th or
she didn't tell me what was going on. So I have no. Maybe you are going to Full Gear, and I'll see you on TV. Maybe she's taking me with you. I hope so. Mista, if you're listening,
happy birthday! On the Mark podcast is going to Full Gear.
Yeah, we will be at AEW Dynamite, so I guess that's good.
But the thing is, being married now, we share a bank account. I don't. There was a way she's convey it. She's got a credit card and everything, but that's my money.
So you're sniffing something out.
I'm not. I have no idea.
Okay.
But
I have no idea either. So
no.
But
she's doing a good job.
Going into the Wednesday night wars, and here come the air quotes again, the infamous air quotes that
it's fun. It's fun.
It's not. Yeah, we don't view Wednesday night as war. A lot of people on Twitter, it's war. Like, if you're not AEW,
you have
screw you, man.
You have religion, you have politics, you have the Wednesday night wars.
That's what they say. That could be on a T-shirt.
That's how many a mark view it. But these two, it's for us. It's a Monday night or Wednesday night.
Great night.
Wonder for us, to enjoy two good wrestling shows and be able to talk to our fans about it. And
this is the meat of our content too. Like right now, we're really talking mainly about AEW and NXT.
Yeah,
because that's the best wrestling going on right now.
We've just invested an hour talking between the two shows.
Has it really been that long?
It's been an hour, and again, we've had
if you're with us.
Yeah, it's been great too, though.
Yeah.
Every minute of this 1 hour has been packed because we've had two good wrestling shows.
Yeah, but so going into this week, we were at AEW 2, NXT 1, and when we say that, we mean we enjoyed that show more each week, so we each get a half a vote.
Yep.
Where's your half of a vote going to this week? The week of October 23rd.
I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, and then we both say
I botched
3. Okay. So both of us give a point. Both of us give a point to NXT here. So I think that ties it up.
Yes.
NXT with a good show again, and the way that NXT earned my point was not because minute to minute 2 hours was better.
Agreed.
It was more of an impact. It had a lasting impact. Thank God for them to have that extra 15 minutes because that's where they stole the show. The first match was good.
So say the match happens, but the Finn Balor heel turn doesn't happen. Are you siding with AEW?
I still think I am.
Really?
I really like that triple threat match.
Okay.
Dude, Keith Lee, send Keith Lee
Oh,
to
so
the
you'd
top
be
rope.
siding with NXT. That's why I asked if
Yeah,
you'd be
NXT.
siding with AEW.
No, I'm siding
Okay.
with NXT.
All right. Yeah, it was the best match.
Cut out the Finn Balor thing. I think I'm still going towards NXT because that match was good. Especially, you can't take the gold off of Undisputed Era yet.
No.
I get it. But how good would that match? How good of a match could they still have it and make Roderick Strong look smart?
Yeah.
He looked smart, cowardly at times, yes, but that's just being a heel. It was a good match. I cannot wait to watch NXT next week.
Yeah, and I think
I'm also excited to watch AEW, but I have to watch NXT. Volume up.
Can't miss.
AEW. I'm gonna watch and spectate, but
NXT next week will be a can't miss show because of what happened this week. AEW, I won't miss, but it's not a can't miss for me.
Right.
And each one of these shows, too, ratings-wise, they're slowly going down a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed that, too, but I feel like that's going to happen because water always finds its level. You're going to get that initial spark, and then, all right, the true fans are going to stick around now.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going from here. That's our Wednesday Night War Talk. And like you said, we talked about that a little bit over an hour, so we're going to finish off the show talking about SmackDown from last Friday and then Raw from this week.
Yeah.
And we're going to touch more on the main things that happen here because a lot happens and a lot of it's not that great right now.
We're going to cut through 5 hours here in about 15, 20 minutes,
And that's just the on the mark way right there. And
that's how we do it.
We know you guys want to hear about NXT and AEW because SmackDown wasn't bad, but the opening match would be a match. Once again, we're starting with wrestling, which 2 thumbs up there.
I'm fine with it.
Really good IC title match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns. Going into this, did you think there was a chance the title would change?
No, I didn't have an opinion on it. I was interested.
You're just wait and see.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, it was very good, but it would end up ending with Baron Corbin interfering because he had a little verbal warfare with Roman Reigns before that on Twitter and whatnot. And the one thing I hate about this, I think it's a lazy way to end a championship match. Give me a clear winner. Because all you're doing right now is setting up a meaningless tag match to end the show. What does having Corbin teaming up with Nakamura to face Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns do?
And watching it with my dad, the last couple of weeks I've been over at his house watching, and I said, okay, here we go. Got a tag match to open up the show next week. And no, we're going to close the show with it this week. Lazy.
That's the WWE way, though. That's like textbook WWE stuff right there. Not taking anything away from Nakamura and Roman Reigns because I swear if you give them a pay-per-view match, it'll be a
good one. Yeah.
And it's something I would like to see in the future. So maybe they are setting up something here, but we'll touch on that tag team match that closed out the show in a little bit. But another thing I want to talk about, and I think this is good character progression, is the Miz TV segment. We had Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, and Sasha Banks. What were your overall thoughts on kind of Bayley just explaining her reasonings behind what she did the week before?
Well, having Miz and Miz TV is a good way to peel back a few layers. Like we said about Bayley earlier, I'm still not 100% in on the heel turn, and Sasha helps. Sasha does help. She looked like $1 million, and it helped, but I'm not 100 in on Bailey being a baddie right now.
I think it was just basically we need to explain the reasonings behind this heel turn. So let's find a way to get her TV time with not giving her a match.
First Grand Slam champion, though. Shout out to Bailey.
Oh, that is true. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I didn't hate it. I thought it was a smart thing to do, especially when somebody just turned heel that's been a babyface her entire career. But I'm still not sold, like you, with the Bailey heel turn. Give me a little bit more of it. I like where it's heading. Yeah. I think the direction is clear, but I need more. So, Bailey, give me a little bit more next week, or tomorrow, I should say, because we're recording this on a Thursday night. And if you're listening right now, she might have gave us more, because you might be listening after SmackDown. So this is the SmackDown of last week. But that was the Miz TV segment. Not too shabby. We would have a six-pack women's challenge match here, so we had to decide who's that number one contender for Bailey. And
right.
I mean, 6 people in a match is a lot. Everybody kind of had their spots. It was good. I didn't hate it. We got a clear-cut winner here. Who's that winner?
I'm waiting on you to tell me.
You don't remember?
I can't remember.
Nikki Cross. You called.
Yeah.
You called this too.
Okay. Yes.
There we go. The last episode, I was like, "Who's going to win this?" You said Nikki Cross, and Nikki Cross, new number one contender.
Good little push for her. I remember telling my dad, I'm like, it's something about her. I don't know. She's crazy. She's a little quirky. My dad seemed to enjoy watching her work as well.
She's not your typical pro wrestler, and that's a good thing.
No, and it's another element to the women's division. You know. Good wrestler. I'm glad she won. God, I can't see. It shows you how forgettable SmackDown was.
I mean, Lacey Evans had some spots in that match. You had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I'll tell you what. Speaking of Sonya Deville, did you see the promo she put on Twitter? I quote tweeted it at 2SweetKyle on Twitter. Make sure you're following me. Those of you watching right now live on Pod on the Mark on Twitter. One of the best things I've seen. Because we don't get to see Sonya do her own thing because she's always with Mandy. I'm telling you, look it up after this. She cuts a promo, and I'm like, maybe Sonya should have won, because I love what I'm seeing from Sonya Deville right now. I think she shined in this match as well, but no complaints here with Nikki Cross. I think that's a good next contender. Yeah. I just don't see her right now taking the belt from the freshly newly heel Bailey.
That ain't going to happen.
No, it's not, but
can still make her look strong, though.
Yeah, very true, because there is ways to make people look strong in defeat, and Nikki Cross has looked pretty strong recently, so we'll see where they go with that in the Women's SmackDown Championship. The main event is what I want to talk about next, because not much happened in between all of that mess. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, like we said, would face off against Corbin and the IC champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan once again getting a tag team win here. It was about a 9-minute match. Reigns and Daniel Bryan are starting to look very strong as a unit.
Yeah, the good synergy. I mean, both good wrestlers. You could tell that. But what the thought at the beginning was, how is it going to work? Are they going to go work well together? Is it going to be something that WWE leans on and leans into? And I like it.
Yeah, and it wasn't a terrible main event. Like I said, it was only about 9 minutes, but overall, once again, and this is very weird for a show that is just going to the Fox network. You'd think every show, at least the first few that they would have on Fox, would be can't miss television. I honestly can't say that this SmackDown was can't miss. You even just kind of proved it right here. You forgot about who won the six-pack challenge.
And I called it.
And you called that right there. So what do you want to see from SmackDown tomorrow? We have SmackDown tomorrow, obviously, as we are recording this. You're going to have Brock Lesnar go face-to-face with Cain Velasquez because you got to hype up that Crown Jewel. This is the go-home for SmackDown before Crown Jewel.
And I'm actually a little bit interested.
With the Brock, or the Crown Jewel?
Just a little bit of all of it.
You know what? I hate to admit it, too. I think I have a little bit of interest in Crown Jewel, too. And I don't know why. Maybe because I'm thinking there's hope that it could be good, but we're gonna get...
WWE is going to find a way to not have a result in a match that they have went out and claimed that there will be a finish, right? What is the wording?
The Fiend?
Yeah.
This cannot be
stopped for any reason.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. I mean, that's pretty strong word, right?
So might as well just quickly give me a prediction on both the major men's single championship matches. We got Seth Rollins versus The Fiend for the Universal title and Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. Give me winners.
Brock wins now.
Okay.
Braun wins now.
Okay.
They can't do it to my man Braun like that. They can't. They book him well and build him strong, and then he loses, and it's just very frustrating. And I just really want Tyson Fury to get those hands. And if both of them don't figure out how to stinking punch, their actual WWE sports entertainment punches are the soft, like rounded fist Shane McMahon punching.
Cain Velasquez was doing that too.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And apparently, from what I've heard, his match in AAA was like very solid.
I've watched highlights and can confirm he had a really good match. But so you're going to go with Strowman. You're going to go with Brock. What about Rollins or The Fiend?
God. The Fiend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In Saudi.
Why not?
He's a SmackDown superstar now.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But what I've learned from these Saudi shows is that it's a glorified house show.
They always hold serve.
So I'm going to go retains all around. Brock Lesnar is going to retain by hook and crook. Seth Rollins somehow is going to, and it's going to piss us all off.
No, I see. But wouldn't this be a good opportunity for WWE to say, like, you need to watch these shows, dude, because they actually do mean something?
See, you would think that, but this is the WWE.
Right.
Like, they're going to stay pat if this is what they've been doing now for a couple years. They've done it in Super Showdown. They've done it in Crown Jewel. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I'm going to watch it. It'll be next Thursday, Halloween, about mid to late afternoon. I'll probably be able to tune in.
Supposed to start at 1, yeah.
So I'll be able to catch some of it, but we're not. That's about all Crown Jewel we're going to talk about.
I think
here.
I'm going to let the whole thing run and then start it over in the evening, like after trick or treat or something.
Yeah, why not? I mean, what else is there to do after the trick or treating?
And it's a Thursday, so
eating the candy.
yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to record, aren't we?
Oh yeah, at some point.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do a different day next week. We'll have to talk about that.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely figure it out for sure. But let's go and finish off this show with Monday Night Raw that happened this week. And we start off with the old drunk uncle, Ric Flair. He kicked off Monday Night Raw. Isn't that what that felt like to you?
I didn't hate it.
I'm not saying I hated it, because when Ric Flair has a live mic, you're going to pay attention.
It actually seemed real, too. It seemed like they gave him a couple flashcards in the afternoon.
There's no way he gets any script.
No, right, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
bullet points.
You know,
he
like
gets.
even during the match when she cut an interview, where are we? I don't know, Cleveland, Kansas City. We're Cleveland now. What are you talking?
I slept with some mothers out here. I think he said that.
Yeah, it's. I actually didn't hate Raw this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hate the wrestling.
I hope SmackDown has the courage to do what Raw did. I think Raw said, you know what? We're going to build some guys up here.
That's exactly
We're going to add stock to some guys. SmackDown's on FS1 this week.
Yep.
Build a guy or two.
Yeah, no. I
Take
agree
the
with you.
time.
If we're comparing Raw and SmackDown, I agree. Raw was definitely the better show from that week. But the reason Ric Flair was there was to introduce the returning Drew McIntyre as the final member of Team Flair at Crown Jewel. This would then lead to a match with Ricochet, who is a part of Team Hogan. What were your thoughts on this match? Because I enjoyed it.
I really liked it. I thought it was a strong match. McIntyre pulls out the win. Looking strong.
I love Drew McIntyre. I think he's got champion written all over him.
He does. He's got the body. He's got the skill set. I'm a huge Ricochet guy. The superheroes are real thing is kind of falling flat. I'm not going to buy a T-shirt, and that's how I gauge my stock in a lot of these people.
That's fair. I mean, if you're
T-shirt?
spending money on them, you probably care about them more.
I'm a 30-year-old guy. I'm not walking around with a shirt that says superheroes are real.
He caters to the younger audience,
yeah.
And you need guys like that. You had Rey Mysterio for a decade being that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He turned out to be WWE champion and world champion, so
yep.
It's not a bad thing. But I think overall, this is the kind of match you want to showcase here on WWE TV. It's a contrast of styles. You got the big powerhouse, athletic Drew McIntyre, and the freak, and I mean that in a good way because he can do almost anything in the ring.
Freakish, yeah.
Freakish.
No
Ricochet
doubt.
doesn't look bad with the loss here. And like I said in past episodes, there's a reason Ricochet has been the most utilized superstar on Raw this calendar year. And I'm telling you, he's shown you why.
Confirmed good at wrestling.
Can confirm Ricochet is a stud. But Another thing I want to talk about, one of those segments called The King's Court, because, Jerry the King Lawler, you get it? It's not Corbin's Court, because he's the king. Kind of forgot about that already, so that just shows you what they're doing with that. But
he didn't even get drafted, though.
Who?
Baron Corbin, did he? Did he get drafted?
He had to have. I don't remember where
I
exactly.
don't think they had, he's the king of the...
I think it was SmackDown.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it.
That just shows you how much we paid attention to the
That
WWE.
guy stinks.
So, yeah, Rusev was in this segment. What are your overall thoughts on this storyline with Bobby Lashley?
I'm over it.
You already are?
Okay. Lana's argument tonight, one of them was that Rusev never took her to this restaurant that it was always her dream to go to. In Cleveland?
Yeah, who has a dream to go to Cleveland?
In Cleveland?
You Joakim Noah? You remember when he bashed Cleveland?
Yeah.
If you're a sports fan, you're a real OG.
I'm over it.
I agree. And I wanted to give it. We both wanted to give it a chance, too.
Sure.
We said when it started, okay. And I still think it's going to maybe make Rusev a bigger babyface, but Rusev attacked Lashley later on in the restaurant. Okay.
Rusev defending his woman. This is on Bobby for brainwashing her. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure their match, whenever that match may be, won't be bad because those two can put on good matches. It's just the storyline behind it. I can't buy into it. And then just with today's technology and social media, we know they're married in real life. It's hard for me to get, emotionally invested into something like that. So
right.
I agree. Hard pass there. A matchup that I didn't expect to enjoy but did. Andrade, once again, kind of showcasing their new draft picks, going up against Sin Cara. It was a good match.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm not familiar with Sin Cara at all.
Dude,
That's how long he has not been in the picture.
So this is going to date me a little bit. He debuted when I started watching wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's actually been around for about 8 years, almost a decade with the company.
And, we won't see him for the next 5 months, so that's cool.
Yeah, and it was good to see him back. And he was wearing his debut gear, I think, that baby blue gear that he wore. Yeah, because I actually have the action figure of that, that gear that he was wearing. But I think it helps that they're both luchadors with that background.
Yeah.
And that those styles can mesh perfectly.
Yep.
And once again, it's showcasing Andrade. Keep feeding him these good wrestlers so he can have good matches. And then eventually they can probably give Andrade a shot at a title.
Yes. Yep.
So overall,
Sin Cara's back, stocks up a little bit, made him look good. Andrade looks stronger. Cool.
Yep. I totally agree with that. And then we would get a Rey Mysterio promo, kind of just talking about the whole incident with Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez. And Shelton Benjamin would come out, but not a lot of people know this, that Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar are actually good friends.
Shelton Benjamin nailed it.
He was the star of this segment, right?
I like him like that. Yep.
Because he was serious. He had the emotional back history with Brock Lesnar, saying he's basically family.
Yeah.
Because they're both true wrestlers. And you actually took Shelton Benjamin serious for once, which was nice.
Yeah. He had some energy and enthusiasm that they allowed him to have and gave him a minute, and another one of those guys on this evening that they decided to put some shine on.
Yeah, and that was nice to see, but little did he know Cain Velasquez was there on Monday Night Raw. He would then come out and attack Shelton Benjamin, and to be honest with you, I was excited. I'm like, cool, Cain's on Raw. It's nice to see stars like Cain Velasquez getting TV time. But the brawl was I didn't care for it. I didn't buy into it. It didn't make me want to tune into Crown Jewel, and I think that's what this segment was supposed to do. Shelton Benjamin sold me, but
get him in the air, give me a big slam. Don't give me a soft round fisted beat. Whatever that was.
I don't know what it was.
Cain didn't look like dominant.
No, and that's what they wanted to accomplish here. You had to imagine, and they didn't. So, in that retrospect, that's a failure right there. Yep. And you had a good segment going with Shelton and Ray because they're two veterans. They know what they're doing on the mic. Cain Velasquez comes out, tries to do what he's supposed to do, and look strong. Thumbs down. That's what we're going to say about that. But we're going to talk about two matches here to end this episode. Seth Rollins versus Humberto Carrillo. You got to roll the R's.
That was nice.
You got to roll the R's. Baby.
Very nice.
People like that. The ladies like that.
Yeah.
It was, hey, what's up, ladies? That was terrible Val Venus right there. That's what I was trying to accomplish. But a lot of people were comparing this one, and I can totally see it. They were saying that this Rollins and Carrillo matchup was like Cody versus Sammy Guevara. You got that. I wouldn't call it Seth the veteran, but he's an established star.
Established star, a guy you need to bring up a little bit. Carrillo's promo was not the strongest I've ever seen.
No, and I don't think his English is strong.
I think it was more about. I actually felt like he was excited and enthusiastic and nervous to be there.
Like real emotion.
Right. And that's why I gave him slack. Put some shine on him against Seth Rollins. Again, that could be one of those things where Carrillo and Seth Rollins hit the house shows week after week after week. And Carrillo could be built into a dude.
And this is a very good way in pro wrestling to showcase a new talent because not a lot of people know about Carrillo. He was a cruiserweight. I mean, that's where people knew him. You're putting him in a match with the Universal Champion. There's not a higher champion in professional wrestling right now. I don't care what you say. If you're the Universal Champion in the WWE, that's the number one guy.
You rule the roost. You are the king. You eat first. Yes.
And having a match with him and having a good one at that. I mean, Seth Rollins had control for most of this match, but Humberto was able to get his fair share.
He had some offense. He didn't look like a jobber. It shows that he's down a few rungs from the Universal Championship, but it also shows that if he smartens up and gets runs a little bit of a tighter show, that he could have a shot. So I'm interested. I was not too familiar with him.
Yeah, and I think his promos need work. Just like anybody, you can't just be a good wrestler. You got to have promo work and a character. But he got his fair share of spots. He was able to highlight his moveset and still look good while losing to Seth Rollins. So overall, I'm very okay with that. I think that was a good thing to have on Monday Night Raw. But the main event here, and they were advertising this as a 6-man tag. It was supposed to be the Street Profits and a mystery partner versus the OC, but they kind of just neglected the fact that no one showed up. So now AJ's not in the match. It's just Gallows and Anderson versus the Street Profits.
Yeah, what?
And I feel like they could have done this better. Like, why announce?
Right, they could have given us a modifier and say, "Oh, something happened." I don't know. They shot themselves in the foot a little bit there.
But what do you think of this?
I thought it was fine.
This is the first time you're seeing the Street Profits on Monday Night Raw wrestle.
Rock solid. Mm-hmm. I thought it put them over well, and the pop at the end. Okay, so the mystery behind me wondering what happened between the 6-man going down to the formal tag match did not outweigh the performance that the Street Profits gave. Yeah. And then we saw a little bit of Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see Kevin Owens. He'd basically come out to save the Street Profits because, of course, AJ Styles is going to get involved. That's what the OC does.
Yep.
So that's kind of a way of throwing Kevin Owens into a new thing, moving him past Shane because now he's on Raw. I think he's going to be going after AJ Styles now. So there's a United States title feud.
Could give some meaning to it. Yeah, it is a feud they've had before or no?
Yes, this is a feud they've had before. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Owens has ran with the U.S. title before.
There we go.
So he could be the King of America again. But this was a great debut for the Street Profits. For those people that haven't seen them actually wrestle, because the people that watch Raw have seen them backstage talking. But if you don't watch NXT, this is the first time you've seen the Street Profits, and you're walking away thinking, these guys are good.
Not bad. I'll take it.
So we get a new feud established with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles and a good debut from the Street Profits. Overall, a very good way to end Monday Night Raw, and it wasn't a bad show. That's all I got to say about it.
It wasn't a bad show. Not dying to see next week, but I'm not terrified of it.
I mean, we will tune in because we're marks.
We can, I think fans will give them the leeway to build and to spend time investing. Who are their superstars right now? Everyone's got something against them. You're not dying to see anybody on that main roster. So just take the time, put some guys over, build some faces.
I think we're getting there too.
I do too. But you don't have to rush anything. You have a few weeks until Survivor Series. You you can establish some.
We need to start building towards that, Tuck.
We got to go. But you don't have to hit the repeat button on feuds and things like that and give us stuff we've seen 100 times before. They've got supposedly the best roster in professional sports entertainment.
They do. I don't think it's close. They do.
But they need to, as Mikey from Mikey and the Degenerates would say, they need to book it better.
Absolutely. And I 100% agree with you on that point right there. But I think that's all we got for them this week, Tucky. What do you say?
Life is good. Again, check us out at otsportsnetwork.com. That is our mothership that hosts us along with a number of other podcasts and blogs. If you're interested in creating content from a blogging standpoint or helping us with graphic design, things like that, even audio cuts and sweepers, we'd love to hear from you. You can actually get that to Kyle Gagliardi at Too Sweet Kyle.
Too sweet.
Or you can check us out at Pod on the Mark. You can also follow the Overtime Sports Network on Twitter @_OTSN. And you can follow myself at JimTuck89.
Also, tomorrow night, or if you're listening to this on Friday, we will be live on the Overtime Sports Network Twitter watching Game 3 of the MLB World Series. So come join us. Yeah.
Just come hang out.
Just shoot the shit with the boys.
Don't have to be the main screen, but would love to be your second screen.
That's right. We love being your side chick.
Oh, yeah. For us, until next time, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pod on the Mark.